I love working with a team towards a common goal.
For the camaraderie.
Camaraderie and playing with my teammates.
I play for my team.
Teamwork and the connections that I can build on and off field.
For the community and the exercise.
Because of the community and the competition.
I like playing Ultimate Frisbee for the competition.
I play for the competition and the fun.
For fun.
Because fun.
I love getting to work hard.
You get out of it what you put into it.
Leave everything out here.
It all comes down to this. It's the open final here at the 2025 Canadian University Ultimate Champions Division 1. Victoria, McGill going at it. Theo Wan bringing you the action with Sanjay Parker. First, we'd like to acknowledge that Brampton lives on the treaty territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, and before them, the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee and Huron-Wendat. We also acknowledge the many First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and other global Indigenous people who now call Brampton their home. We are honored to live on, work, and enjoy this land. And Brampton is the site of this championship and has continued to be, so we thank Experience Brampton for their support. As Sanjay, both of these teams coming off semifinal victories in thrilling fashion, and now they're here in looking for the final, looking for the championship. McGill never won a title. UVic all the way back in '97. Most of these students weren't even born then.
Such an exciting game we have here today, Theo. Two fantastic teams from different sides of the country representing the full Canadian nation here. We're about to get the game underway.
UVic on defense to start. Pulling in their white jerseys with their star player, Max Pepperoni Petnuzzo, set to pull here.
As you can see, both teams are excited here on the sideline.
And something we talked about before the game, McGill going to run their D-line going downwind, even though they're on offense. They do cross over Kai O'Donnell, though. Kai getting tangled up with Ben Lefevre. Ben Lefevre was playing out of his mind yesterday. You remember that?
Theo, you and I were fortunate enough to call games for both these teams individually at different points yesterday, so we know these teams pretty well.
And one of them is Kai O'Donnell, multi-time Team Canada player going around. Finds his target, Samuel Doomer, excuse me. Now that laser hug for TJ Verland's going to go all the way down the field.
We're going to talk about this early. Hopefully not talk about it for the whole game, but a major condition in this game is going to be the weather. It's a super windy day. Yesterday was about 20-kilometer winds. Today's 30-kilometer winds with 50-kilometer gusts. We're also expecting a lot of rain, but knock on wood, we don't see that until after this.
Petnuzzo now going to have to deal with the zone. Jonathan Barry, TJ Verland, Samuel Doomer. The trifecta. Scuba now looking for Lachlan Margison. Margison, one of the star players of this UVic side. Certainly going to play a big role if UVic's going to be successful here. This is a defensive point for the Vikes. Coming all the way from Victoria, a long ways away to Brampton, as Lefevre keeping things going over to Margison. We know UVic's got a big alumni presence, so I'm certain they're cheering on at home from wherever they are. Petnuzzo. I don't think Sanjay Petnuzzo is going to come off the field very often.
Well, it's a big decision if you're going to rest a key player for any point in this game because the points are so long, you take someone off, they could be off the field for 5-10 minutes. You don't want to miss one of your all-stars off the field. But then it's a question, can any of these guys play a full game nonstop given how long this weekend has been for some of these guys? Strip there called by UVic, uncontested call, great spirit there by McGill.
TJ Verland playing for Manic out of Montreal. A few of those players on this team as we see some teams that maybe have finished up funneling into the showcase field here and the bronze medal game happening at the same time. Games have to be moved up, so the women's teams actually have to play 3 straight today, quarter, semis, final.
That's right, whereas the men, they had a quarter and then a bye and then semis straight into this final.
Penuzzo. Going with the hammer. Finding Marcus Hernandez. Running down is Penuzzo. Max Pepperoni. He's going to call a foul on Barry. No contest from Jonathan Barry. Both of them were U24 Open teammates in Spain this past summer. Penuzzo actually eliminated one of his other teammates on Team Canada, Dax Miller in Queens in the quarterfinal in a thrilling matchup, 1-2. Penuzzo airing out this backhand, and it's caught by Lachlan Margison, but there is a pick. There is a pick called. So don't celebrate just yet, Victoria fans out there.
There was a pick called earlier against McGill, so number 31 for McGill stopped playing. He's saying that he probably would have tried to get in the action there. UVic is arguing there's no chance our guy would have caught it no matter what.
Now that's Sam Doomer calling that one. You can't miss him with the hair there, Sanjay. Margison still discussing things with Doomer and the closest observer, that is Jeff Peters.
If UVic managed to keep this hold, it would be a big deal to get a goal going upwind right off the top. It looks like they are going to agree. Good spirit there by Doomer. He accepts the call. Goal for UVic going upwind.
That is a break for UVic as well. So that's pretty big for them. Now, I see Margison and Penuzzo hovering around that line, so I expect them to be on once again.
We already talked about how windy it is going to be today. The upwind breaks is going to be the key difference. Most of these teams should be able to score going downwind. It's whether or not you can score going upwind is the big difference. Not only can you get the disc off the offensive team, but can you also keep it until you get in the end zone? That's how this game works, of course.
And so UVic started up winning. They got the break, so that is a huge advantage, like you said. So let's see if that can continue. A lot of the same players like Lefevre also out there. Margison, Penuzzo continue to be the people that Telfair, their coach, is going to rely upon in this game.
McGill's about to start on offense. They've had a really successful weekend so far. 3-0 in the group stage yesterday, undefeated. Today they beat McMaster earlier this morning.
And Guelph. They had a thrilling win over Guelph,
And
getting
Guelph
some
in the
late
semifinals.
breaks. That's Aiden McKibben. He was playing D-line yesterday, is now playing O-line today, going up win, one of their strong players, playing for Blackfish U20 out of Vancouver area. Dylan Wu now. You talk about big shooters, that's number 13 for McGill. UVic trying to go for that 2-for-1 break combo here. Nice little skip throw to O'Donnell. O'Donnell playing his second point in a row.
I'm really impressed by both teams' capacities to throw this disc upwind. It's windy out here, and they're just making it look like another day in the park.
They certainly are, and McKibben working with Wu, finding Jean Gras. That's Leo Jean Gras, a rookie master's student. He was a big addition, the lefty. A foul was called on James Edgell on the mark, but I don't think it affected, so they should continue things going. Their line's looking a little different than yesterday for McGill. And that's because they're transitioned to more upwind, downwind. Jasper Homer Devine with it. Horner Devine, excuse me. Another stoppage, and things just really going up here. 8 minutes into this contest. Only 80 minutes, no soft cap +1. You know what I feel about that, Sanjay, but nonetheless, it's going to be hard cap 80 minutes, right?
That's correct.
This is a big offensive point for McGill. Low throw, picked up by Dylan Wu.
The game would also, in theory, end if one team gets to 15 points, but I doubt that's going to happen today.
And Dylan Wu not able to come out that one, and Petnuzzo going the other direction. Margelson trying to go with the right hand.
Seagulls are on the field trying to get engaged with the play. A couple still remaining on.
And a quick McGill turnover. You're right. Seagulls on the field. Perhaps some distractions. O'Donnell going to take the mark on Petnuzzo. Margelson. And it's just going to go across the field by Petnuzzo, and it's dropped. A good effort there from Marcus Hernandez. Maybe coming a little too hot.
That would have been an opportunity for UVic to go 2-0 up, 2 breaks to start this game.
Saw Ottawa did that on the women's side in the semi, and they were able to come out with a victory. So perhaps some good omens there if they could get a second break in a row. Dylan Wu right through. They decide not to continue with Horner Devine. Instead, it's O'Donnell. Back to McKibben. UVic content to go with the zone look we were told before the game. They're going to mix it up a little bit throughout the contest.
And they've been known to do that all weekend, keeping that offense on their toes, not knowing exactly what to prepare for.
Emmett Andrews getting his first touch. He was a key handler for them yesterday when they took on Manitoba. McGibbon. As Jean Gras going up line, but there's going to be a foul called there by Hunter Cochran.
UVic haven't had quite the same direction throughout this game. Throughout this tournament. They came in yesterday, they went second in their group, they lost to Manitoba, and then they upset and beat Queens this morning, then to beat Ottawa in a very low-scoring game in the semifinals. Yesterday, they played Ottawa, they lost to them, but they blame that on running out of gas. Today, they feel more up to it. It's the sunshine. They're not used to it from Victoria. Today, this cloudy, rainy, windy weather is exactly what they're used to.
And they took down Ottawa, like you said. Jean Gras, will that throw stay in bounds? Out of bounds, ruled by the observer, Alex Tacone. It's a third turnover on this point for McGill. And we do apologize before we continue. If we miss something, it's because the sidelines are very close to us with the fields being split into two. So sometimes our vision is actually impeded. So just want to let the audience know that.
That's right, and if you look in your through the camera, through the screen that you're watching on, you'll actually see on the far side of the game, you see the third place game, which is Ottawa versus Guelph.
Marginson's throw is going to hit right in the breadbasket of Petnuzzo. Petnuzzo has Cochran. He's going to go for her net. Davis instead. That's Theo Davis. Petnuzzo finding Davis, and it's 2-0 Victoria.
This game started the exact way that UVic would have hoped for. 2 breaks, a break upwind and a break downwind. That does mean McGill is going to have to break twice if they have any hope of coming back into this game.
Yeah, you're right. This is a dream start for UVic. I wonder what the coaches are going to decide here. Nicholas Swan, Solomon Podorovsky, Richard Bartle-Tubbs. What are they going to do? They're discussing some things right now. Are they going to go with their D-line going downwind? Are they going to call a timeout? Let's take a look. And they're going to do just that. They're going to take a timeout. Sanjay, should we do the same?
Let's take a timeout as well, Theo. We'll catch you on that other side.
More finals action coming at you. UVic with the hot start, 2-0. 2 breaks, in fact, to begin this game. 1 downwind, 1 upwind, and now UVic going to go back upwind, right to left on your screen. Theo on here with Sanjay Parker. Sanjay, UVic, the start they wanted.
This is one of the craziest games for UVic. Great start for UVic. This is actually what they want. And it's funny, this isn't even the time that they're trying to peak for. They actually prefer to play in the spring in the US series. This is just an optional tournament that they send their players to. It's a big trip here from Victoria, and they're missing some of their best players. You wouldn't be able to tell it so far, though, eh, Theo?
That is true. Ricky Trent, Nathan Daly, a couple players, now LaBelle as well. Not making the trip, but they got a solid squad anyways, and they're dealing with this McGill side that really needs to score here going downwind. Mathieu Pettit. Pettit now, or Petit, if you want to call him the en français way here. As Barry now. That throw too low for Verlaine. Dylan Cochran going to power this one up. Looking for Tyler Forsyth, and Gabriel Russell also in the area. No Pet Nuzzo or Margison on the field right now for Victoria. They're going to rest them. I think that's a smart idea.
You got to rest these guys at some point. You can't play at 100% for a full 80 minutes. It's all about when and where. Now, most of these guys would want to, and they'll want to try, but you got to keep them as fresh as they can be.
You think you would say that if they could, they would play every.
That's exactly right. They think they can, but that's the pride of youth.
That's where Oliver Telfair has to say no. He's the U24 mixed assistant coach in Spain. Mentioned Margison on that team. That throw is going to be taken away by Russell. UVic, threat of a 3-0 run. Desmond Burns. Cochran, zipping it in. Finding Russell. 3-0 UVic.
McGill called a timeout before this point, trying to make sure they were settled, give their players a second to breathe so that they would get a hold, stop this run. Vic did not like that, decided to throw it down their throats anyways, and here we are, 3-0 to start this game. Not what I was expecting.
I think this is what UVic expected. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I don't even know if UVic expected.
You don't think so? You don't think? I know they expected a dogfight. I get that, but they've come in with a lot of confidence. They took down an Ottawa team that they know went to U.S. Nationals. This UVic team, they were very close to making U.S. Nationals. They lost in the game to go to UBC, fellow BC team. They were trying to get back to the series and using this, like you said, as a launching pad, and certainly doing so right now with a 3-0 advantage. Now you might have to ask yourself, if you're McGill, you chose to play offense with kind of more of your D-line. Is that a decision that might come back to haunt them?
That's right. Coaches told us before this game that they were going to play their O-line players going upwind, potentially the players that we're about to see right now,
Which
and
is,
their
yep,
D-line
exactly
players going downwind, because in theory, scoring downwind is a lot easier. Shows that UVic did not agree with that plan at all.
Yeah, we see TJ Verlaine, who's been a big-time handler for Manique in the club circuit. He's going to come out and join this group, so they're kind of mixing and matching now, and sort of you kind of have to throw the kitchen sink down 3-0. So we'll see what happens here as Gingras finding Verlaine. Back to O'Donnell. O'Donnell's throw going to be saved by McGibbon. First effort not there, second one was. Zone look once again from UVic. Some UVic slow chants coming down from their sideline. Gingras lost the Sunny G's now with no sun in sight. Just a lot of cloud cover right now. Weather pretty warm though, right? It's been a little bit colder at previous university championships or Sanjay, so I'm sure the players are enjoying that. Petnuzzo is out on this point. Same thing with Lachlan Margison, who's hovering in the deep, deep space. Dylan Wu now. Want to see him get involved. Big-time player, number 13. Good bid attempt, but coming up empty was Hernandez.
This UVic zone, this cup is really doing a good job against McGill. McGill is scared to send it deep, and so they have to just swing it around. And UVic's doing a great job of not letting them get any forward momentum.
See, Kyle O'Donnell working really hard trying to get free as a popper now into the handler core. Verlan to McGibbon. Ruled inbounds by Jeff Blair. See a melt called as they go into person here. Verlan trying to shake free of Penuzzo. O'Donnell going around to McGibbon. Gingras. Well, inside to O'Donnell. O'Donnell then hits Dylan Wu. That's what McGill needed right there. Clean hold for them.
Patient play. I don't know if that's something they spoke about on the line, but they needed just to hold it, keep it steady, keep it still. They needed this point more than anything. If Vic had scored again, that might have just been the game off the top. Instead, McGill have a foothold now, and now it's up to them. Can they break going downwind? McGill are in a very fortunate place. This is the first time they've had their full squad heading into a tournament this university series. Looks like we got a timeout called for UVic. We're going to take a timeout ourselves. We're going to catch you on that other side.
UVic coming back on offense. They chose to call a timeout and perhaps resting some of their star players like Margison and Petnuzzo, who were just on that last point. And I'm just curious, Sanjay, what you think about that, because, yes, they gave up a score, but that was a hold for McGill, and they're up 3-1 still, up a few breaks. They actually have 3 breaks to their name. And so do you like that timeout call from UVic, or you say, hey, just keep running your offense?
It's definitely a decision to be made. Both teams have 2 timeouts per half. That's a lot of timeouts to go through in a game. We're probably about halfway through the time of this game, of this first half. Sorry, McGill just walked by, getting up their energy. Anyway, so it seemed like it was more of a energy timeout than a strategic one. They might take a second to talk about how they want to score up line, but they haven't had an issue scoring up line so far this game. Upwind, I should say. So I doubt there's about that.
Upwind, up the line, down the line, deeps. They got it all right now.
They do.
We see some of the Brock Badgers open team taking in some of the action. I think I saw some Toronto and Laurier and Laval players as well watching, so I think their games are done. Fortunately, games had to be moved up. This was the scheduled time for the open final, but the women's final had to be moved up. And, of course, the field's being compressed here, being played on the turf. Luckily, it's not too hot out, because I know you've played on the turf, and it can get real hot there.
The rubber starts to burn, it heats up, and it's just like walking on hot sand, Theo. It makes the day so much harder, especially once you've played your 3rd or 4th game.
O'Donnell out here on this point, taking for land, and a scuba from O'Donnell trying to reach the very athletic Margison. Now Wu also out there. They're really trying to take this upwind, and they're going to call a timeout. We're going to stay here and discuss that. I thought they might want to go fast break.
You know, Theo, you and I have talked about this several times this weekend. Neither of us are big fans of calling a timeout when you get the disc in the final third and you have momentum on your side. I get why Wu did it. He was like, this is a big moment. We need this break to go 2 breaks to go 2 points in a row would be a big deal for us. I feel like he had momentum on his side. Let's not give the defense time to set up. Fine. Team's talking now. They know exactly what they're going to try and do on offense. McGill, this is something you practice time and time again during your practice during the season. So surely McGill must have some sort of set play that they want to run on this end zone here.
And we talked before, this is before their pool play matchup, Sanjay, about their depth. And certainly we're seeing a little bit less use of that right now because Verlaine's playing a lot of minutes. Wu is also out there. O'Donnell, I think O'Donnell's maybe not played 1 point. So this McGill team really going with their big guns.
We also know that part of this line that's on right now is a quote-unquote D line. So maybe these guys have less experience trying to put it in the end zone from this position.
Wu going to be marked by Max Petnuzzo. Sure his dad Dave Petnuzzo watching at home. Brother Justin Petnuzzo, otherwise known as JP. Max playing with Furious George in the club circuit. Dylan Wu playing with Manique. Inside to Verlaine. Verlaine spinning around. Nice little cut from Dylan Wu. High release. Ball bobbled by UVic and caught by Ryan Marshall. Not sure if that's what Dylan Wu wanted, but it's going to result in a break for McGill.
Because of the wind, that disc just held up a little bit, give UVic a chance to catch it, but also didn't give him a chance to grab that disc, bobble it up, and then great concentration there by McGill. That's hard, and he made it look easy, getting low to the ground, giving himself time to catch up that disc. Something we haven't talked about, Theo, but is a really important point. These teams haven't played together for a very long time. Neither team is very familiar with each other's games, so it's interesting to see how both coaches row tactically as this game progresses.
Yeah, Bartle Tubbs remarked actually that they had not played in his 3-year tenure with McGill, that they had not played each other, these two teams.
He also even mentioned that he didn't even scout them going into this final, but he did watch but the coach of UVic did say he watched a Queens game against McGill, expecting to play Queens in this game. Instead, they're playing the other opponent. They're playing McGill.
Hey, you got to scout everyone. Everyone makes the quarters in Division I. If you don't know, you have to qualify through some tournaments previously. So for McGill, that was in Quebec. For UVic, that was through Westerns. They were the only team that wanted a bid. For a team like Ottawa, they had to qualify a tournament called Easterns. So Jean Gras with the pole. O'Donnell still back on the field. Pettit as well, playing a second point in a row.
Now, McGill didn't necessarily do that on purpose, but they do have UVic pinned on the windy side of the field.
O'Donnell against Petnuzzo. Martinson going deep, going against Pettit. A couple other players in the area, including Plaxton. It's Martinson who absolutely elevates for the score.
I thought McGill had that. They had 3 guys under it. They were watching it the whole way. Great jump there by UVic to get up and get big.
Lachlan Margison known for the bunnies, and you saw that right now. That's a full head top right there. Lachlan Margison putting his defender, he's giving up inches too on that defender, and he's putting him on a poster right there. What a grab from Lachlan Margison. Wow.
Second hold of the game. Not a lot of holds in this game. A lot of breaks so far. McGill now have the ideal kind of offense. They're starting with it going downwind. They know that this is just a point that they have to hold. McGill spoke to us before the game about how to win in finals, you need to have experience in finals. They were in the finals last season and they lost, but they take the positives of that. They now know what it takes to win. They know that it takes concentration and you can't let your head go down, even though UVic went 3 breaks in a row off the top. McGill know that they have to just be calm, score this point, go 1 point at a time.
And certainly coming in with a little bit of a different swagger as well. This is not a team just happy to be in the finals this year, eh? This is a team that's saying, hey, we're gunning for our first ever championship.
That's right. First ever championship on the line here for McGill. Second finals in a row. Big game. UVic also haven't won the finals since before the year 2000. I believe it was 1997. Thank you, Theo. 1997 since the last time UVic won. So big title on the line for both teams here.
We see Dylan Wu playing on this downwind point, churning yards, going deep, and ripping that one down. Verlan to Dylan Wu.
Easy hold there from McGill. Nothing too hard, and that's kind of what I expect from both these sides, to be honest, going downwind. Not that both these sides aren't strong defensively, but going downwind with the experience that these sides have offensively, you would think they would just be able to tuck it in.
And something that maybe some defenses need to adjust, Sanjay, we saw this with the Manitoba women's team in this semifinal, just this last round on this exact same field. They put someone deep, Amber Friesen, the whole time. Is that something you might see from these teams?
I'm not against that idea. I think that these teams are smart enough to know that if someone's completely poached off and isn't marked at all, they're going to work it up through that team. The only reason why that didn't work so well in the semifinals on the women's game we watched is it happened near the end of the game, and they were like, we just got to put it in now. Let's not take these easy throws. Right now, I feel like if McGill were to try and poach someone off the back end, UVic would be fine with that, and they would just work the possession and keep the discs. They seem to have no issue throwing in despite these windy conditions.
Center O-line for UVic. Alex Long getting some burnout there. Number 64, Theo Davis, also on the field. Same thing with Jordy Plaxton. Margison almost got blocked by Pettit. And now it's Long. Finding Plaxton. Alex Long looking for Kane Harper-Tubbs. Had a great semifinal, we were told, with Kane Harper-Tubbs. Some big catches for them. And he's a big part of their offensive group, offensive side. Kane Harper-Tubbs being marked by Andre Savard.
Harper-Tubbs was one of the standout players in their semifinal, and you can see why. Big catches, big plays, just like he did just then. That inside throw might look easy, but that's an important throw. The assist to the goal is maybe the most important thing you can do in a game. Harper-Tubbs was someone that the UVic coach highlighted going into this game as someone who had a really huge semifinal and would hopefully continue that form going into this final game.
Jordy Plaxton on the receiving end. See what UVic dials up here on this defensive line. Is Pet Nuzzo going to be on the field? I don't see him right now. Margison and Pet Nuzzo on our close side, so they're not on the field right now. Max Pepperoni. I don't know how that nickname started, but we've taken it now. I think it started on the Ulti World Discord somewhere. Someone called him Max Pepperoni, and I've gone and ran with it. So Desmond Burns to pull for Victoria. Big pull going upwind. Let's see where this lands. Dylan Wu now. Not going to take it in the middle. Finds Andrews right away.
Zone look here from UVic.
Kai O'Donnell. Had Tim Friesen going up the line inside instead to Andrews. A little mixed match lines right now for McGill. I like that. You got to go with what's working. Give and go. Andrews and Wu. Wu trying to shake free from Hernandez, and then he's looked like he was blocked, but it's actually going to be a foul call and no contest from James Edgell. Stoppage. Violation as players going too early. Emmett Andrews now, number 22, double twos. Working against James Edgell. Less than 10 yards from the end zone. Finds O'Donnell. Little give, go. O'Donnell to Andrews.
That's the fourth hold in a row, Theo. It's clear that these teams have started to figure out the defenses and know what to do. The question is now, can McGill and McGill's leadership figure out what they need to do to turn over UVic and score some of these breaks that they lost right at the start of the game?
And not just 4 holds. You're right, 4 holds. 4 clean holds as well. So they're really leaning in, and I know there is some wind out here, but certainly these two teams not fazed by it right now. Saw some big hucks going, and this time they were able to work it up and get the score. McGill's body language looking positive despite going down early. I know some of their players maybe not getting as much burnout here, but their sideline, the head's not hung down right now, Sanjay. They're looking positive. They sense that they can get these breaks back.
They've gotten one break back already, 2 more to go. It's too early for them to start losing any sort of confidence. You don't get to the finals without knowing that you're a great team.
Back throw too high for Margison, but cleaning it up is long. And then finds who you talked about, Kate Harper-Tubbs. KHT. KHT throws going to hang. Petnuzzo trying to get there, but O'Donnell denies it. That's a tough catch to make.
Fun aerial battle between Petnuzzo and O'Donnell. I could watch that all day. Both players have a vertical height of at least 8 meters.
Now what's McGill going to do here with Gingras? The southpaw finding Verlan. He's a big-time shooter as well. Saw him huck it earlier to Dylan Wu. Around to Barry. Barry's played for Mephisto in the past. Mentioned already that he's played for U24s on the open side with Petnuzzo. Big takeaway there, but there's a foul call on the mark on Petnuzzo. He's not going to contest, so good spirit from Petnuzzo.
Good spirit throughout this game so far in period, Theo. Couple calls here and there, nothing too crazy, no crazy physicality, and for the most part, a lot of accepted calls. Love to see it. Great, and it's a great example to anyone watching at the highest level.
Verlan being marked by McCullough. Everything underneath right now for this McGill side. Pettit, Verlan.
Big opportunity here for McGill. They're doing a great job of keeping possession. They need to keep doing so, working up the field. This is an opportunity for one of the 2 upwind breaks they're going to need this game.
Marshall. A travel called on O'Donnell by Margison. And some more reenactment happening there, Sanjay.
Ultimate Frisbee has a lot of thespians in it, Theo.
You've done some acting in your day, is that right?
That's correct. Shout out to my alma mater, ESA. I was
ESA, okay, Etobicoke School of the Arts.
That's correct.
O'Donnell shaking hands there with Margison. You can see O'Donnell kind of signaling to the end zone here. Finds Pettit, who's coming to the reset space. Pettit previously played out in Pittsburgh within Sabanur, if you heard of that program. Barry.
I really like what I'm seeing from McGill here. Now, maybe there isn't as much downfield movement as the handlers would like, but they're making smart decisions, taking easy throws, relatively easy in this wind against this opposition.
There are a couple cuts that have stopped short, like O'Donnell and Hebert-Cregan. That's Oscar Hebert-Cregan, who has the disc right now. So see if they can finish their cuts going laterally. Reset to Verlan. This is an upwind break opportunity for Mutt, the McGill Ultimate team. Hebert-Cregan. Maria's cleared out, so now it's Verlan coming into that space. TJ going around, finding Gingras. Gingras wanted the inside lefty backhand, no one cutting for him, and then a clear travel from Verlan, taking both feet off the turf at the same time.
Every catch, every throw right now is stressful. You know you've got another defender breathing down your neck. You know you've got gusts of wind that can throw the disc anywhere that you aren't expecting.
Nice around, taken away by Alex Long, but a foul called on the mark of Callahan McCullough, to the incensement of Oliver Telfer, the Victoria coach. He's not happy with that.
Tough for the mark there. Not a lot they can do to get out of the way, but ultimately ultimately is the right decision. Coach is saying that it was a good block by the defender, but you can't really argue with the call there.
It's going to come in on one. Pettit really trying to shake free of Harper Tubbs, unable to do so. Merlan, quarterback, QB1. Little shimmy shake. Just a reset to O'Donnell. A missed poach allows Jean Gras to get free, but nothing continues as he tumbled to the turf. Going around looking for O'Donnell, but Petnuzzo gets large to block it.
1-1 Petnuzzo versus O'Donnell in the air so far today. Love that matchup. Hope we get a couple more. I'll try and keep track as best as we can.
Disc flew out of the venue, flew out of this field site. A good fan helping bring that one back. Harper Tubbs going deep. Looking for Davis, but Verlaine with a catch block on the under.
You need big defensive plays like that if you're going to score.
And he finds Abercrombie again, and McGill gets a break back. Huge upwind for them.
You know, Theo, I don't have a dog in this game. I'm happy if either team wins, but I'm glad McGill got that break. It just is going to keep this game a bit tighter. That means that UVic are up one break going in to the rest of this game. They're going to start on offense, but now they're going upwind.
So ties have really turned here. Let's see if a timeout's going to be called by UVic. We're going to take a look. Looks like there is a timeout call. We're going to try to figure out who called it here. UVic calling their second timeout. We're going to do the same and take a quick break. McGill fresh off an upwind break. UVic calling the timeout. It's McGill going downwind on defense with Tim Friesen set to pull. Was told Tim Friesen actually from the Victoria area doing his undergrad at UVic and now playing against them in the final. That's a fun little storyline there. Doomer, on the mark. Berlin also hovering there with Barry. And a missed throw by Margson looking for McCullough. McGill trying to get this game back on serve here with Dylan Wu at the controls.
This would be a huge opportunity for McGill to tie it up, or tie it up in terms of breaks just before half.
Barry. Yeah, half is at 8, or maybe the halftime cap. We're going to keep you posted. Barry looking for Wu. Wu finds Berlin, and we're back on serve.
Honestly, Theo, when UVic went 3 breaks up at the beginning of the game, I thought that might be it. McGill has changed it around, And I wonder how much of that is them versus it's UVic taking their boot off the gas.
I heard on the sideline earlier UVic saying the game's not over, and that's certainly true as McGill has retaken the lead, scoring 3 in a row. 2 breaks, upwind, downwind special. That's what we got so far. So UVic would start with the ball on offense in the second half. That's what we have for you right now as McGill holds a 6-5 lead.
UVic's motto is energy is key. And it's evident that that's why they've won so far and they've gotten so far. They have so much energy on the field, so much speed. They'll win the majority of their aerial battles, but maybe it was just they needed to be calmed down for the second period in order to lock that in.
It's almost like you're right. It's the first half, but it's like the second period of the first half. You know what I mean? Like it's like almost like quarters. You can think of it like that. That was just a little miscommunication between Margison and McCullough. It wasn't like McGill necessarily generated that turnover there.
You're right, and yet it's also the pressure that McGill is putting on UVic that makes UVic throw away these throws they've done 1,000 times before.
Baird finds Margison. Petnuzzo going deep against O'Donnell, and it's Jean Gras locking down Baird for now until he gets free on a reset cut. Theo Davis. Little lefty from Baird getting Davis free. Great defense from O'Donnell, but it's long, feeding it back to Davis. Harper Tubbs keeping his foot in bounds. Margison putting his defender on the turf, getting a goal. That's a third goal for Lachlan Margison there. UVic used both of their timeouts, so they weren't able to use another one on that point.
You know, it's so easy to forget, Theo, when you're watching these games with such skilled athletes who played at the highest level. They're university students. These are young men trying to play with a whole fan base watching, people in the crowd, a live stream like you and me commentating. It's tough to stay calm. We actually saw one of the defenders throw his hat out of the field after getting beaten on that last point.
We're going to clarify halftime cap for you, as we know that should be looming. We're just going to see if it's half at 7 or half at 8 for you folks at home. So we're just going to check for you. Got to keep the audience informed, Sanjay, of course. 6-all the scoreline.
Theo, it's officially 2 p.m., which is exactly the time that it was supposed to start Thunderstorm today. Let's hope that it doesn't start.
Half is at 7, we've been told.
So this means that this is the next point before half. McGill has all the advantage here with the disc going downwind.
Tim Friesen now. High throw, but O'Donnell's up to the task with 2 hands. Wu going deep, marked by Edgel.
Wu was trucking there, trying to get downfield fast enough.
O'Donnell throwing it to not sure who. I think maybe Malcolm Kolinsky, but Kolinsky had come underneath.
UVic with an opportunity to break upwind, their 4th break of the game potentially going into halftime.
And that would actually be very necessary for them because they would start on offense, like you said, Sanjay. So this is important for them, and of course that means Margison and Petnuzzo are on the field. As Hernandez and now Millen in the deep space, but it's a reset to Petnuzzo. Petnuzzo travel, going to tap it right back in, finding Lefevre.
It's only fitting, Theo, that after this half, we're going to finish with your favorite scoreline.
Ha! That is true. I won't say it until it happens, as I think Margison going to take an injury sub here. And UVic certainly hoping that he's okay. And look at the spirit there from Barry trying to help him out, as well as Sam Doomer. That's really good spirit from both sides. And like you said before, this game has been really well executed spirit-wise.
Looks like a bit of a serious injury here. Not exactly sure what happened. Could be knee, could be calf, could be ankle. But he's walking off on his own right, and that's always good to see. Hopefully we see him come back on later this game. Let's see who UVic put on, and instead looks like Davis. Oh, maybe he's staying on. That's a tough cookie right there.
I'm pretty sure if he called the injury sub, he has to come off the field.
I think you're right. You can't just use it as a delay of game. So despite him being a ginger snap, a tough cookie, he does have to come off.
Theo Davis in his place. Martin, I'm hearing just a cramp. So got to make sure you get some pickle juice in him right now. Davis, reset to Petnuzzo. Edgel. This is the last point before half. Millen, nice move on Domer.
Looked like there's a call downfield between Kalinski and 83 for UVic.
That's Ben Lefevre.
More like that. I'm sorry I didn't recognize you, Lefevre.
You got to recognize that.
Yeah, that's an iconic haircut right there. The only other person here, I think, with a haircut that quality is Oscar Stonehouse over on Guelph on the other field. Those guys should get a picture together.
Yeah, little mullet brothers right there. I do agree. Millen. Looking up the line for Petnuzzo. And O'Donnell gets the best of that one this time around.
2-1 O'Donnell against Petnuzzo. That aerial battle is something to watch. Someone should put a highlight reel of just those two going at it after this game. I'd watch it for sure. Long point before half. Good time for a long point. They'll get to rest that half, but it shows how serious they're taking this point. What a bid there.
Marcus Hernandez pounding his chest. Two turnovers for McGill. This is an offensive point for them going downwind. Millen. Now Edgel. Petnuzzo power position. He's going to put that one upside down. Caught by who else but Lefevre.
It's not even that hot out here, Theo, but I think I have a fever dream going on right now. Holy Moses. And I think that might have even been his offhand he caught it with.
Lefevre made a crazy grab on stream yesterday as well, kind of a similar way. Desmond Burns working against Malcolm Kolinski. Now Petnuzzo. Petnuzzo can go cross field with the flick if he chooses to. We know that. So going to go upside down scuba. Two players trying to get it. That's Burns. Now Lefevre. And it's blocked by TJ Verlaine to the throw of the crowd. Dylan Wu, he tracks that one. O'Donnell. Lots of time. No mark, his sideline tells him. This is for half, folks. It's very important. O'Donnell looking for a very open Jonathan Barry.
That's a point. He was so open, I thought there might be a call on that point. But he just was able to get some separation. Wow, what a point going into half, Theo.
Halftime it is. Your thoughts before we go to break, Sanjay, of what you've seen. Lots of back and forth.
I want to take a second to talk about Lefevre's crazy bid there to catch that hammer throw. Crossfield hammer, played it out, got it. They almost put it in, and then right away, McGill went the other way. McGill celebrating their favorite scoreline as well, same as you, 6-7.
Yeah, with that 6-7, we're going to go to break here. McGill up by 1, 7-6.
I love working with a team towards a common goal.
For the camaraderie,
Camaraderie and playing with my teammates.
I play for my team. Teamwork and the connections that I can build on and off field.
for the community and the exercise.
Because of the community and the competition.
I like playing ultimate frisbee for the competition.
I play for the competition and the fun.
For fun,
Because fun.
I love getting to work hard.
You get out of it what you put into it.
Leave everything out here.
Every time I step on the field, I want to be a better player.
You know, give something people to talk about.
Be happy but never satisfied.
To step away from real life and focus on frisbee.
I play because I love ultimate.
Find your drive.
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 Open finals here, Division One at the 2025 Canadian University Ultimate Championships. McGill, UVic, slobber knocker battle. McGill getting the hold to force it to be 7-6 for them. Sanjay, Parker, Theo on here. Sanjay, time not of the essence right now.
First of all, Theo, just during halftime, we've started to have the rain coming down. It's going to get only stronger from here. You can see the fans in the background pulling out umbrellas. Also, there's only 20 minutes left of this game.
So we're going to clear under the 10 here and scramble as the rain continues to pour down and pours down pretty ferociously right now. Trying to make sure our equipment is protected as well. And really coming down right now is this rain here in the open final.
But also, along with this rain, we only have 20 minutes left in this half. So it's going to be a short half because the first half was so long, plus the 7-minute half time. Each team has 2 timeouts left, which means that the way to use those timeouts is going to matter a lot in terms of how they want to use that strategically.
I certainly hope, Sanjay, that a game doesn't end because of a timeout. I certainly don't want that. Penuzzo bobbles the disc on the pole. The weather already affecting things right now.
We haven't really played with that much rain so far this weekend, and as it gets wetter, it's going to get harder to catch the disc. It's already so windy.
Jean Graf finding Barry. Barry little inside. And McGill gets the score. Emmett Andrews.
McGill going 1 break up right after half. And that's technically an upwind point, even though they didn't really have to fight upwind that much.
So
hopefully Pepperoni doesn't take that to heart. A dropped pull can happen to anyone. It's happened to other players in big games like this, and they've come back from it. So don't let it go to your head, buddy. You're going to do fine. You're a big player for this team.
Rain right away affecting things as McGill fired up. They look perhaps dead to rights, down 3-0 to start this game, Sanjay. And this is really, the script has really flipped on its head for McGill.
I look on the sideline, though. These UVic guys still look positive, seem like they got their heads up, that they can do anything they set their mind to. Let's see if they can do it on the field. All right. McGill have one break to their name. They're up by 2. That means Vic would have to score this upwind point and then break going downwind in order to tie up the game.
A tough task, but time still left. That was a quick point. That's a saving grace for UVic if you think about it like that.
That's true. They're going to have to get some fast, squeaky points in here if this game's going to go their way.
And that's not going to help with the time because that pull is going out of Brampton into another city at this point.
Yeah, I think that's going to land back in McGill by the time they get home.
Yeah, it's landing in Montreal. UVic hurrying up to try to save the game disc, and another disc has been given to them. So Petnuzzo going to clear it off. He's rocking the gloves now. I have not seen that all weekend from number 49.
A lot of players don't use gloves anymore, Theo. They only use chalk.
Margison. Finding Callahan McCullough. As Davis holds the rock right now. And Margison. Bumped by Verlan. Play will continue. Now a foul called by Jonathan Barry. Discussions to be had with Jeff Blair as well.
Bit of a delay of game there. Back in the action now.
Blackston working it back to Margison. Now with McCullough. Little flip back over to Margison. Zone look from McGill as they try to get it through, finding Alex Long. Margison having to clap catch that one. McGill certainly happy with this, right? Sanjay working that zone, making UVic throw a lot of passes, taking time off the clock.
The longer UVic can keep the disc off the ground, the drier it's going to be, though.
Jordy Plaxton. Now it's Margison on this close side, having to deal with the sideline and the players on it.
With the zone defense, though, you kind of want to lull the offense to sleep and then snap once they feel like they've got their flow going. So as you said, Theo, McGill holding them here is kind of beneficial.
Petnuzzo working with Margison. Margison called on the travel, will tap the disc back in. Now it's Jordy Plaxton. And someone fell down there. I believe that was Margison. Verlan and Margison talking about some things here. 8-6 the score line. And Sanjay, that we're getting closer and closer to hard cap. 15 minutes and some change.
That's right, and you're going to see the contact go up as the margins that players are going to give their opposite number decreases over time. They'd rather, especially for McGill, they'd rather slow this game down, make it a bog. I'm not saying they're going to try and foul on purpose, but they're definitely going to make it difficult.
It certainly would be against spirit of the game if they did that, Sanjay, but
To be honest, this has been a very, very spirited game so far. Considering this is a final, considering neither team has won this for a long time, both teams have done a great job of not only minimizing contact, but when contact does inevitably happen, they've agreed and done the right thing.
yeah, first time for McGill would be. That's what they're seeking for, and Victoria would be their third. They won back in 1997. Petnuzzo working against O'Donnell. Same matchup all game. Petnuzzo finding Jordy Plaxton for the score and the UVic hold.
Long time since 1997 there, Theo. None of these guys on the field would have been born by then, I'm sure.
That is probably true. Petnuzzo, fourth assist for the Furious George player, Team Canada star, U24 level. O'Donnell marching back out there for McGill. Makes sense. Scoreline the way it is. He's been going both ways as number 10. hailing from Vancouver, playing out of that system in the junior scene, playing for Blackfish as well, is Kai O'Donnell.
UVic now have a big opportunity here. McGill's going to have the disc, but they are going upwind. This is a chance for UVic to turn that around, actually.
Now break back. That's what they want. Remember, they started off with a 3-0 run here. Oliver Telfair coming off the sideline with closest observer Alex Tacone near side there. Penuzzo set to pull here for the Vikes, spinning around, ripping that one downfield. Gene Gras set to center it over to their main handler, Emmett Andrews. Andrews now underneath of Verlan. Verlan starting downfield, is a handler by trade, and you know we can launch it. Big fakes coming and eventually finding Aiden McGibbon. Aiden McGibbon, another BC player joining this McGill side. Dylan Wu. Finding a very open Kai O'Donnell, and probably because there was a pick.
I got to tell you, Theo, there's been a lot less zone in this game, zone defense, than I was expecting to see given the conditions. I guess both teams consider they think that their defensive abilities are strong enough that they don't have to do zone.
Certainly trusting in that right now as O'Donnell. Backhand force, which will allow O'Donnell rip it if he wants. Verlan getting free of Hernandez. Has an open Andrews. And now there's some foul discussion to be had. Verlan and Hernandez discussing some things here. Looking for O'Donnell up the line. O'Donnell finding Wu. Evading the bidding attempt of Petnuzzo. And great spear from Dylan Wu, checking on Petnuzzo at the end there.
I was a bit confused there for a second, Theo. I thought Wu was shoving it in his face. Nice to see that he was just being a good fellow competitor and making sure that his comrade on the field was okay. I got to tell you, Theo, that's one of my favorite things about this sport, that they all just make that it's about the love of the game, you know?
You got to love the game right now, Sanjay, if you're playing out in the rain on a Sunday afternoon in Brampton. But they're going for a title out here. And UVic, good bidding attempt, but coming up empty. Now they're back on offense, and Petnuzzo took a huge bid. And it looks like a timeout being called by McGill with 10 minutes and a bit left. So we're going to take a break as well. Mutt back on defense here. As Mutt D chants rain down from the McGill sideline here. They do have one more timeout. They used one in the second half. They have one more, Sanjay. So be interested to see when they decide to use it, as rain really coming down here in Brampton.
That's right, Theo. And I'm expecting that they'll use it strategically as a way to waste time, slow the game down, as a way to really change up things strategically. But they might be able to use it for both.
If you got the timeouts, you can't take them home with you to Montreal. So they might as well use them now And if that helps also affect the clock, I think that's an added benefit.
UVic with a very important point here. They're going upwind on offense. Petruzzo choosing to let the disc bounce to him that time as opposed to letting him catch it off the top.
Yeah, because he wobbled the pole going the other way, left to right.
Could happen to the best of us.
Harper Tubbs evading the bid of Ryan Marshall. Now back into Callahan McCullough. That's a first year on the field as a big-time handler for UVic. Visionary throw, Petnuzzo to Alex Long. Long needs a reset, finds Max Pepperoni. Max P now. Looking for Margison, chased by Pettit. That matchup's been happening all game long. High stall. And it's a stall down. A stall down here in the final.
That's a really big deal there for McGill. This is an opportunity for them to go 2 breaks up with 8 minutes left on the clock.
Shot going up, looking for Abear Creek again. And it's going to be brought in for McGill. 10-7 the scoreline right now for the Montreal side.
He did a good job of boxing out. I thought their lace was going to get tangled and he was going to go down, but he stayed on his feet and was able to get big, bring that disc home to Montreal with him. Montreal are now 2 breaks up, 7.5 minutes away from their first ever CUUC title.
That is true. History on the line here.
Seen some UVic heads drop. They need to get their heads back in the game if they're going to come out on top. It's not impossible. McGill got 2 breaks in a row in the first half, and that's how they were able to tie it up. UVic could do the same thing if they only believe.
Yeah, it's hard because, like you said, Sanjay, they had that 3-0 lead. It's certainly very deflating to have that happen, but you got a rebound right now. Starts off with this hold going left to right on the screen. That was Leo Gingras, who got the assist there for the McGill break.
McGill taking this opportunity to rest 1 or 2 guys just to keep them fresh in case they need to come on later in this game.
You got to play the long game here. You know, there's probably a couple points left, and certainly right now for Victoria, it's basically score or go home, I would say. Barry, nice pull.
I would say it's score. Go
yeah,
home
score.
there.
You're absolutely right.
Catch there by Pepperoni.
That's Max Petnuzzo if you're just joining us. He's being marked by Aiden McKibben.
Petnuzzo has been marked by O'Donnell for most of this game. Opportunity for some fresh legs to be thrown at him. Great hammer across field.
Finds Margison. Harper Tubbs on the run. Harper Tubbs finding Theo Davis for a very quick and clean hold.
UVic needed that fast point there because they're going to need time if they're going to break twice with 5.5 minutes left. Great play there. I love that hammer by Petnuzzo. He's really killing it on this field.
I don't think he's coming off the field, first of all, Sanjay.
Looks like he might be taking a break right now, to be honest.
Oh, it might be. Oh, that is so. Looking like Desmond Burns going to get the call out here on defense. Tyo Forsyth as well, taking the jackets off. 5 minutes left to the hard cap.
Have McGill called the timeout, Theo?
They've called one already. I'm seeing if they're going to use the second one.
No, doesn't look like they have. It's just an extended between point.
This final started at 1:15 local time. Will end at 2:35 local time. Got some event organizers behind me, so confirming that what I'm saying is actually true. Want to thank all the volunteers. That gives me a good time to thank the volunteers and everyone that's been here, staff, that have helped make this tournament successful, including the observers in the observatory.
I got to say, Theo, this feels make or break for UVic. They
Absolutely.
Got to get a break here. 4 minutes left on the clock. Down 2 points.
O'Donnell has Verland. This is a power line for McGill. Dylan Wu out there. Gingras, Barry. Pettit as well. Normally plays D. Tim Friesen. Trying to spoil the hopes of his former team, and he gets free from a pass from Dylan Wu.
Goal by McGill there. Tight play. Vic were doing a good job defending there, not giving them easy options, but McGill's speed and height make them such a threat going forward. 3 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock. Vic on the O. They need to hold this quickly. I'm expecting to see probably a pretty fast point sending it downfield early.
Yeah, UVic going to experience a McGill timeout, and we're going to do the same. Come back for the exciting conclusion. 11-8 the score line for the McGill Ultimate team. McGill coming out on defense here up 11-8, and perhaps the lead too insurmountable with the time the way it is. UVic giving some burn to some players that maybe haven't seen as much action. I see Douglas on the field for UVic. That's Jake Douglas, number 21, a couple others that maybe haven't seen the field in the same way. So good to see Oliver Telfair opening it up a bit here and giving them some shine right now.
McGill doing the same thing, rotating a couple of the guys who haven't seen a lot of play time so far this game. Good to see it. Sad to see this game is over, but what a game it has been for us, Theo. Great players on the other end. UVic went 3-0 up, 3 breaks in a row. I actually thought that was going to be game right there. And McGill has come back, I think, 5 breaks in total this game to win. I'm happy for McGill. Their first title again in this Canadian series.
Yeah, we'll formally announce it once the last point is said, but of course they're heading towards that. They were kind of going power line here on this defense, so a lot of the same players we've been talking about: Barry, Verland, O'Donnell, McGibbon, Aber-Cregan, Dylan Wu, and Leo Gingras. That's the 7 there for McGill. McCullough here working with Jordy Plaxton. A bright future ahead for Mr. Callahan McCullough, as now with Gabriel Russell. No contest foul there from Kai O'Donnell.
Good spirit there from the TC vet.
McCullough going around, finding Plaxton. Time continues to tick, right? Sanjay, you're watching that clock?
20 seconds left on the clock I'm watching.
Now this should be hard cap after this. Plaxton. Horn probably will go off any moment now. McCullough finding Forsyth. There's a pick called, and that will probably do it, as there will be a horn that goes off. And the horn has gone off, and should we wait till the final point, or should we say it now, Sanjay?
We got to put it in. Let's see what the final score is.
Let's see what the final score is.
Final score.
You're right. Let's do that, okay? We're going to keep the audience in suspense here. Tyo Forsyth.
These UVic Beeline guys have been doing a great job, though. Maybe they should have gotten some more playing time earlier in the game. Who knows?
Cochran. That's Dylan Cochran. There's a Hunter Cochran as well on this team. Callahan McCullough. Inside to Dylan Cochran. Dylan Cochran throws it right into the hands of O'Donnell. Barry has Aber-Cregan going deep. Throw over his head. Can Jordy Plaxton box him out? And he gets the block. And he's putting the sword in. I love that from Jordy Plaxton. Still fighting to the bitter end there, Sanjay.
You got to make best of the time you get on the screen.
Gabriel Russell going deep. Has Carson Moonwind, and UVic's going to celebrate, but McGill's going to do the same thing because the McGill Ultimate Team are national champions for the first time ever.
And what a team it is. So much talent across the board, so much depth. Congratulations to McGill. Congratulations to McGill's coaching staff. They've done a great job. I want to say a quick word about UVic. They came in. This is not their primary goal to win the series. They want to go to the U.S. Again, we talked about this earlier in the game, Theo. Their main goal is to win the
Northwest region. They want to go to nationals in the States.
And the fact that they came here, got to the finals, and they don't have even their full squad. Good job to Vic. Look forward to seeing them in future seasons. But McGill are going to get their name on the trophy. They're going to have a wet trophy medal ceremony. Looking forward to seeing that.
They're going to have a lot of wet clothes on the ride home, but it's going to be made a lot sweeter with a gold medal hanging around their neck. And so, Sanjay, we didn't do this in the last game because we're rushing off, but we have time now. Player of the game first from UVic.
I got to go the two big matchups. I'm going to do UVic and McGill at the same time. I thought Pedernuzzo, sorry.
Max
Pepperoni and Kai O'Donnell were the big names coming into this game. They were the guys with the pressure on them to make big plays, and both of them delivered. I love that they had three matchups in the sky, basically mixed 50-50. Both of them had a lot of pressure to consistently handle the disc. With the rain, the wind, not a lot of rest, a long weekend, and they both delivered. Got to give credit to those guys. When the big names show up, it's a big deal.
Yeah, once again, want to thank all the organizers that were involved, the TD, the observers in the observatory, all the volunteers that made it happen.
Also, shout out to the sponsors. Be Ultimate. They've got a great tent over there. I don't know if
I think it's gone now. The tent has disappeared.
Can't blame them for that. Shout out to Discraft for supplying the best discs in the game. And most importantly, the Brampton Experience. I don't know if it's Brampton Experience.
Brampton. Experience
oh, my
Brampton.
bad. But they did supply the Brampton Experience, the best Brampton has to offer. Really a tremendous experience from Brampton.
Yeah, I want to thank our production team as well. Mika Young, Sarah Leung, Kat Fortin, Sarah Edie, all involved to make us sound and look good out here. So thank you again. McGill takes it down. 11-9 will be the final score. Written in history, the McGill Ultimate Team, national champions for the first time in program history.